Flavors, colors. How many have you ever seen a child after they've eaten, let's say Fruit Loops? How many different colors are in Fruit Loops? Lots, like the rainbow, okay? Every single one of those colors is produced artificially. Every single one of those artificial colors is toxic to the body. Not only does a Fruit Loop have artificial colors, it has artificial flavors. It is made out of a grain that has been refined, so there's no nutrient value in it whatsoever. Very, very high sugar content. Extremely stressful on the body. When we talk about animal products, animals are in nature will take up to 2 years to mature to the point that it leaves the farm, it goes to the butcher, and it is turned into a piece of meat that you could purchase in the store. However, farmers learned that they can help that process along. They can make their money off of their animals in a shorter period of time by feeding these animals growth hormones, by shooting them with steroids, by giving them antibiotics so they are much less likely to get sick from the foods that they are fed that are genetically modified and are filled with all of these fillers that we're talking about here. They've been processed and they're eating processed foods. So now all of those chemicals end up in the muscle and the fat of those animals because they're designed like humans. Their bodies are not meant to deal with those things. They are synthetic, artificial. They are put in the fat cells and in the muscle to protect the rest of the body from those things. What part of the animal do we eat? The muscle with the fat in it. So we ingest meat from an animal and that has steroids, hormones, antibiotics in it. We are ingesting those just as if they had shot us with the hormones and the steroids. I know you all know that in the past several years in the history of man, people have gotten taller, people have gotten larger, people are entering puberty at a much younger age, young girls are having their periods at a much younger age. This is not the way things were hundreds of years ago, even 50, 75 years ago. And the major contributor to this is the meats that we are eating that are full of these hormones and antibiotics and steroids. We are ingesting those also, and our culture is changing because of these things. Okay. Now, we've been talking about digestion and how eating a processed food is very, very difficult for digestion because the body is not able to digest things that are not real, that are not compatible with the body. So what if we do eat something that is not necessarily processed, but it has been cooked? Remember I told you that if it was heated above 118 degrees, it is now dead. The enzymes that were in it are killed. Every meat that we eat, every dairy product that we eat falls into this category. So the body has to do 100% of the digestion. So your body produces these digestive enzymes to help the body digest foods. If a food is not 100% digested, anything that is not digested cannot be absorbed into the body, and the nutrients in that food cannot be utilized. At that point in time, it becomes a burden, a toxin to the body, even if it was a good food. So not only do you need to choose the right kind of foods to eat, you need to be sure that your body is able to digest that food. Now let's talk a little bit more about enzymes, digestive enzymes. Each category of food that you eat requires a different type of enzyme. A carbohydrate requires a specific type of enzyme. A protein requires a different type of enzyme. Carbohydrate needs an enzyme that is alkaline in nature. A protein needs an enzyme that is acid in nature. So in a typical meal, let's say we eat mashed potatoes, and we eat green beans, and we eat a piece of chicken. Potatoes and beans are carbohydrates. They both require an enzyme that is alkaline in nature. But then we get to the chicken. The chicken requires an enzyme that is acidic in nature. So when those things enter the digestive system knows how to respond appropriately, and it sends a message to the body and it says, I need an alkaline enzyme down here to get rid of these green beans and these potatoes. So the body produces an alkaline enzyme. Then we eat the chicken. The body sends a message to the rest of the body and it says, I need an enzyme that breaks down chicken, and it sends an enzyme that is acidic in nature. Acid and alkaline are not compatible in the same space at the same time. They neutralize each other out. So even though we've eaten some good foods, healthy foods full of nutrients, when we put them in the body at the same time, and we put an acid and an alkaline enzyme in there together, and they neutralize themselves out, there will not be enough enzymes to 100% digest that entire meal. You are going to have some undigested foods left over. That means you're not getting all the nutrients from the food that you would if you had eaten them separately. And it also means that now there are toxic waste products in the body that are extremely stressful and cause more energy to be used than would be if you had not eaten the two together. So, are all of us going to stop eating our meats and our vegetables together? Probably not. You know, that's just not the way we eat. So there is something that you can do to help your body out, and that is to take a supplement of a digestive enzyme. And I have some handouts up in front here about a lot of these things I'm speaking about. And I invite you to come up when we're finished to get any of these handouts. And one of the handouts I have up here today talks about the importance of digestive enzymes, and that digestive enzymes are not created equal. Many people today want to make a few bucks off of enzymes, and so they're putting some very, very inferior enzymes out there for you to purchase that will not give you the results that you're looking for. So I can help you with enzymes. But please just think about that a little bit. That may be some information you didn't have before, and I encourage you to ponder that thought. Now, let's do a real quick hands-on here. I want you to communicate with your body, and I want your body to give you some answers about how well you are digesting some of the foods you're eating right now. So, very first thing we're going to do is we're going to find out how is your body dealing with the digestion of carbohydrates. What you're going to do is you're going to put two fingers up, one finger on each hand. You're going to take that finger and you're going to place it under your chin, near the back where your molars are in your mouth. And I want you to push up in that fleshy part and move your fingers around like you're making little circles as you push up. Now, if that is sensitive for you, that is a signal from your body that you are not digesting carbohydrates well. Anybody have a sensitive spot there? No one. Oh, yeah, here's one. Okay. All right. So most of you are doing pretty well with carbohydrates. Let's move on. Let's talk about proteins. Proteins are tested in the jaw. So the first thing I want you to do, those same two fingers, clench your teeth together. Put your fingers right here where the bottom jaw and the top jaw meet each other. Then unclench your teeth and do that little circle thing again, pressing in. And if that is sensitive, you are not digesting proteins very well. Now that's one way to test it. Let me give you a second way. Put your fingers now in your ears and plug your ears. Clench your teeth again, unclench, and alternate, clenching and unclenching. And if there's a popping sound that you hear in your ears, you're not digesting proteins well. Anybody get a response from either of those? Okay. How about fats? How's your body responding to fats? Oh, I don't know. You tell me. Okay. Take your right hand, reach over your shoulder, Notice how your fingers are lapped over your shoulder. Now push into your trapezius muscle with your fingers and begin walking your fingers closer towards your neck. And if anywhere along the way you run into a sensitive spot, you're not digesting fats very well. Okay? Let's take that a step further. Your liver is extremely important in dealing with fats in the body. Your liver is located underneath your rib cage on the right side of your body. So if you'll take your fingers and you'll place them right underneath the ribs and you'll poke in and just move them around a little bit. You might walk in a little. If you have any sensitivity in that area, your liver is not working optimally. Okay, on the left side, underneath the ribs, is your gallbladder. If you poke around underneath the ribs on the left and you have any type of sensitivity there, your gallbladder is not working optimally. And again, come see me afterwards and we'll talk, okay? Your body is wise. Remember, it is the most fabulous organism on this earth. It is programmed to take care of itself. A symptom is a signal, a communication from your body that something is not working the way it's supposed to, and it wants you to do something to help the body bring itself back to balance. So learning some of these natural cues from the body could be extremely helpful for you to attack something before it becomes very, very serious. Okay? All right. I want you to understand that almost every single physical symptom that arises in the body is a result of the foods that you eat. You make a choice every day to either help the body be healthy, or you make a choice that interferes with the body's ability to be healthy. And I hope that you will be more conscious of your choices and you will begin to make more wise choices. The stress from your foods can hinder your body's ability to stay healthy more than anything else that we do to our body. So let's choose today to help those bodies. I would like to let you ask me some questions at the end of this about any of this information, but we need to move on. So the next thing that we're going to discuss is how food affects your behavior. Food is not only a contributor to your health, but it also is a contributor to the way you behave all throughout your day. Now, most of you, when I talk about food and behavior, you immediately probably think about someone else. Oh yeah, I saw so-and-so eat something and they acted really awful. I couldn't stand to be around them afterwards, you know. Well, I'd like you to kind of turn the focus back on yourself rather than someone else right now. And as you listen to what I have to say now, see if this applies to you. If it applies to you, more than likely it applies to the other people you live close to, because the way you eat is being modeled to them. And if you continue to eat the way you're eating, they're going to continue to eat the way you're eating also, and that behavior will continue throughout the whole family. Let's define behavior. Behavior is the visible consequence of brain function. Okay? So how your brain is working is going to be played out in behavior. Your brain is the most vulnerable organ in your body when it comes to food. Your brain requires a continuous, steady supply of food all day long. And if that supply of food is not steady, then the brain will respond in a negative way. As a matter of fact, the brain cells stop working. And if it continues for an extended period of time, the brain cells will literally starve to death. They will die. Now remember, your body is programmed to take care of itself and to run at a specific level, at a specific pace all day long. So a certain amount of brain cells are scheduled to die every day, but they are replaced immediately with new brain cells. However, if you cause a brain cell to die unscheduled, there is not a new brain cell scheduled to replace it.